When you're running Facebook ads, Facebook has a measuring system that they call a relevance score. How important is that for your success? In this video, I'm going to show you everything that you need to know about relevance and debunk the theories. Check this out. Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Kevin Smullin. My company is 2Q Lead Generation Strategies. That is the name of this channel. And if you're new here, what we do is we help real estate agents generate leads using Facebook marketing and advertising. We teach them a system where they can get all their marketing done in less than an hour per week and have lots of leads and lots of transactions coming in as a result of that marketing. Today, what we're going to be talking about is relevance score. So I'm going to be doing a deep dive on that and talking about whether it's really as important as people say and whether it's what you really should be looking at as far as how effective your ads are. I'm going to put some links down in the description below. So first of all, if you would like to see some of our top performing ad templates, I'm going to be putting you can download them for free. It's our 3 top performing ad templates for generating buyer leads, seller leads, and open house leads. So I'll put a link to that down below. I'll also put a link to our online course called the Revolutionary Agent course. It's our master's course on Facebook marketing, showing you an entire system of marketing to your sphere of influence, past clients, generating new leads, retargeting, the whole thing. So I'll put a link to that as well down below. So let's get into the topic of today's video, which is relevance. So relevance is a score. It's a metric that Facebook uses to determine what's happening with an ad. What it's really measuring is how relevant the ad is to the audience or the target of people that it's being shown to. It's an expectation that Facebook has of how many of those people are going to block the ad, hide the ad, report it. And so if they think that more people are going to be blocking, hiding, reporting the ad, then it gets a lower relevance score. And where that really matters is the lower your relevance score is, the less often your ad is going to be shown as a result. Because Facebook's objective is to put the best content in front of the best people possible so that people have a reason to keep scrolling, to stay on Facebook, and to look at more and more ads, right? So that's Facebook's objective and where the relevance score comes in. Now, what happens is people sit and look at this relevance score when they set up an ad, and they're using that as the metric whether the ad is doing good or whether it's not. And so what I wanted to do is show you a little bit about this. Frankly, most of my clients, we talk so little about the relevance score. I bet most of my clients who are watching this probably even have no idea that there is such a thing or what it is, right? This is probably new to them simply because I just don't talk about it a whole lot because in my opinion, it's not that important. So let me show you why. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and show you some results of different ads. So as an example, I'm going to use this first. So this is my ad account for different ads that I run for myself and some of my clients. And so what it is you'll notice that there's different tabs here. So there's the campaigns tab that kind of show you the whole thing, kind of show you a snapshot of everything going on. Then you've got the ad sets tab and the ads tab. You'll notice that here in the campaigns tab, relevance is not even shown. So most of my clients, when they're looking at this and saying, well, they're looking at these measurements and they don't see relevance. To find relevance, what you need to do is you need to click on one of your, well, you don't even need to do that, but if you want to see one specifically, so here's an ad that I'm running for a class that I'm teaching in a couple weeks. When you go to the ads section, this is where you're going to find relevance. Now, you'll notice in this case, my relevance score is blank, right? I don't have a number. Facebook will not assign you a relevance score until you've had 500 impressions, meaning that the ad has been shown 500 times. So you'll notice right here, my impressions, I just barely set this up yesterday. I haven't had 500 impressions yet. I've only had 120. For this, I've got a really low budget on the ad. And so it's going to take a little bit to get to 500. Now, if I come back to the campaigns tab, I uncheck that one, and then I go back to the ads to show all of the ads that I've run. You'll notice now if I scroll over and move over to the relevance tab, there we go, that these now have relevance scores, right? So you're seeing some 8s, some 9s, some 5s, and then, there's quite a few of these that are at 10, right? These different ads. So what makes something relevant is Facebook is looking at your objective. So whether you wanted to get video views or lead generation or engagement or whatever, they're looking at that plus the audience that you've determined, how likely they are to do that objective. And it's also looking at the ad itself, the creative section, meaning what the ad is, whether it's something that's going to appeal to those people or not. They take all these factors in, and that creates what Facebook assigns as a relevance score. Now, again, what happens is the higher, it's a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being low, 10 being high. So the higher your relevance score is, the more often Facebook will show that ad at a lower cost, simply because Facebook perceives that that's great content for that audience of people. And again, Facebook's job, their whole job of their entire platform is we want to show the best content to the best people possible so that they have a reason to stay on and keep looking. So that's where the relevance score comes in. However, it's not a complete measurement, because I can show you tons of ads where the Facebook assigned it a relevance score of 10, but it didn't perform very well in terms of generating leads or getting people to respond to a video or. So I kind of give this analogy. Relevance score is kind of like an individual. I'm a sports guy. I love basketball, right? So it's kind of like looking at how many points a player scores per game. Yes, it's important, and yes, it contributes to the overall success of the team. But we don't measure how successful a team is based on how many points a player scores, right? We measure the importance of the team on how many games they win. So what we're talking about is the same thing. Relevance is kind of like a player's individual score. Yes, it matters. Yes, it contributes, but it's not what we really care about. If I'm generating leads at the end of the day, what I really care about is how many leads that generated, not what my relevance score is. Does relevance contribute? Yes. Is it the overall determining factor? Absolutely not. So what Facebook even says in their help menu about relevance score. So I'll put a link to this in the description as well, but this is Facebook, their section in their help menu about relevance score. And it's interesting that they say right here how to use relevance scores, right? So in this section, one of the things it talks about is that it's not just the relevance score, but it's also the bid, right? So Facebook ads work on a bid system, that the more you're willing to pay, the more often they're going to show your ad, because that's more revenue for Facebook. So it says right here in the help menu, don't make the mistake of thinking that just because you have a 10 or a 9 as a relevance score, that your ad's going to get shown more. In theory, it does, but if people are competing and bidding more in the auction system, then obviously they're going to show that more often, because that's more revenue for them. So again, you've just got to understand the way that this system works. Does relevance matter? Yes. Is it as big of a deal as everyone says? In my opinion, no, because I can show you ad after ad after ad where I can show you both. I can show you ads that had a relevance score of 10 that performed really well. I can show you ads with a relevance score of 10 that didn't produce very well. Right. So when you're going through, so again, this is my ad account. When you're going through these, again, a lot of them are very high, which means it's a great message, great target audience. Facebook expects those people to engage and like that message. But some of these didn't perform super well, right? They didn't generate a lot of leads. They didn't generate the expected outcome. Whereas there's other ones. So here's one that is currently running. And you'll notice right here it says active learning, right? So what's going on is Facebook is learning who the best people are for this. So sometimes you've got to run ads for a period of time just for Facebook to learn who's liking it, who's clicking on it, who do we share it, who do we send it to more, who do we send it to less. Again, the ad system is constantly moving. And that's another thing. You may have a relevance score of 10 right away, but it may change over time. Right? It may go to an 8 or to a 9 as Facebook is testing, sending that to different people. you've really got to, some people get so analytical that they watch this all the time. And it's okay. I mean, it's kind of like just sitting and watching the score of a game. That's fine. But at the end of the day, you've just got to let Facebook do its diligence in showing the ad to different people, testing what's happening, learning who the best people are so that they can show it to those people more and more. So again, this is an example of where you see that Facebook is learning who the relevance is. Right now, Facebook is giving this ad a relevance score of 7, which again is not terrible, right? You're still towards the upper end. Here's another one where we've got a relevance score of 9. Earlier in the week, this was a relevance of 10. But here's the thing. A lot of people look at this and say, well, relevance score of 9, that's great. But again, this was an ad that was set up for the intention of generating leads. So I don't care about that. I care more about how many leads did this generate. And so when you start looking at that, well, we've generated 52 leads in less than a week, and it's cost me $2 per lead. That's a great ad, right? Being able to generate leads at $2 per ad, or $2 per lead, and I've generated more than 50 in the last week. That's a great ad right there. So this particular campaign, my client started at, we started at a budget of $10 a day. It was performing well, so we increased it. And as we increased it, the relevance score dipped a little bit. That's okay. Again, I'm looking more at how many leads it generates and how many, what my cost per lead is. If it's a lead ad, if I'm measuring something else like video views and those kinds of things, again, it's a different metric. So the whole point of this video is a lot of advertisers have just gotten into this concept that I got to focus on the relevance score because that determines how well I'm doing. And that's the point of this video, is to show you that relevance score is, it's not really the major criteria that you want to be looking at. Does it contribute? Absolutely. And I'm not going to say otherwise. Is it the most important thing? In my opinion, it's not. And I've explained the reasons why. So that's what you need to know about relevance score. Again, I'm going to put a link to this article. I do recommend taking a little time and reading it. It's a short read, as you can see. But that short read is going to explain what relevance is measuring, why it matters, and at the same time, why it's not the most critical factor. So that's everything that you need to know about relevance scores. So hopefully that video was helpful. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. We'll certainly answer them. If this was helpful, give us a like. We appreciate it. Also, consider subscribing to the channel. Every week we share brand new insights, brand new techniques, and brand new strategies of how to generate leads, how to get more results with your marketing, and ultimately how to get more deals coming into your business. So give us a subscription if you appreciate that. And also click on notifications, then you'll get a notification every time we put out a brand new video. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your support, and make it a great week. We'll talk to you soon.